He is the prince of this world, the ruler of this world, and as Jesus called him, the God of this world. The only person Jesus ever called God apart from his own Father. He said he is the God of this world. He's the one that people really worship, though they don't know it. He's the one that they really bow down before, and they're just not aware of it. He is the prince of this world and the ruler. Why is the world in such a mess? What's the explanation? We've got good people, sincere, gifted people trying to put it right. We've got men of goodwill who want a good world for their children. Why can't they achieve it? Why will we never get there? Why can't we get any nearer? I'll tell you why. Because the real person who's running this world is the devil. He's the prince of this world. And he'll make quite sure we don't get peace, except on his terms, which will be totalitarian surrender. And that's why we need to take him very seriously indeed. On one occasion, he's described as the prince of the power of the air. And the air in the Bible is always taken to mean that part of heaven that's nearest to us and that surrounds us and, as it were, hems us in. In other words, between us and highest heaven is the arena of Satan, ringing the earth, the air all around us. That is where he is, the prince of the powers of the air, between us and the highest heaven. Now, he is a king and he has a kingdom, and there are 4 words used in the Bible to describe that kingdom. It is a kingdom of disobedience. Everybody who's disobedient belongs to that kingdom. You were born into it. You grew up disobedient. You learned what it was to say no before you said yes. You never had to be taught to be bad, only to be good. You never had to be taught to be rude, only to be courteous. You never had to be taught to be dishonest, only to be honest. You were born in a kingdom of disobedience. And as Jesus said to those who would not believe in him, you are of your father the devil. Secondly, it's a kingdom of darkness, moral darkness as well as physical. The darkness that there is in this world of ours and the deeds that are done in the dark because men dare not come to the light are the deeds of the kingdom of Satan. Satan loves darkness, which is why those who are in his grip love to live in darkness rather than light. They will love to sleep during the day and live at night, whereas God's plan was that men should work in the day and sleep at night, while the beasts slept in the day and came out at night. That's the plan of God in the Bible. But you'll find when the devil gets hold of someone, young people, when the devil gets hold of you, you keep later and later and later hours. You begin to live in the darkness, not the light. And it's amazing how the devil turns you around this way. It's a kingdom, thirdly, of disease. Why are there hospitals? Why are there doctors? Why are there nurses? Doctors and nurses who have to work in the dark and in the light and 24 hours a day. Why do we need all these health services? Why do we need medicines and pills and all the rest? Why do we need operations? I'll tell you why. Because we're living in the devil's kingdom. God never intended sickness and disease. It's not his will. And when they brought a woman to Jesus to be healed, he looked at her, he said, you see this woman? She's been bound by Satan these 18 years. 18 years Satan's had her body. With St. Paul, he had a messenger of Satan, a thorn in the flesh. He asked God, take it away, take it away, take it away. And God said, no, in your case I'm not going to, because I think you can glorify my name even more by showing what grace can do with a messenger of Satan. And he left Paul with the disease. Sometimes God cures a disease, sometimes he leaves it. But every disease is a messenger of Satan. And what about death? Every time you see a hearse go along the road, you're seeing something that Satan did. Death was never intended for human beings. We were never intended to have our relationships broken. Death is something that Satan has introduced to our world. He never intended the profession of undertakers, did God? And they'll be out of a job later. I remember reading this sentence in a book, and it hit me so forcibly. Every cemetery owes its existence to Satan. Well, now this is his kingdom. What's he aiming at? What's he trying to do? The answer is he's trying to be God. He's trying to have a kingdom of his own. He's trying to be like God. And everybody he whispers to, he says, wouldn't you like to be like God? From the Garden of Eden onwards, wouldn't you like to be like God? Control yourself, have your own kingdom, the power and the glory for yourself. That's what he does. He got hold of Nebuchadnezzar, and Nebuchadnezzar, strutting around the hanging gardens of Babylon, one of the 7 wonders of the world, said this, "Is not this great Babylon which I have built by my mighty power as a royal residence and for the glory of my majesty?" Listen to it. Is not this my kingdom, my power, my glory? Babylon. A few months later he was living like a beast, eating grass in the field, and his fingernails were like claws, and his hair was down here, and he'd lost his sanity. It's said in the book of Isaiah about the devil himself, "You said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven above the stars of God. I will set my throne on high. I will sit on the mount of the assembly in the far north. I will ascend the heights of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High." And anybody who talks like that, whether he's trying to build an empire in big business, or whether he's being the big boss in his own family, every man who's saying, "Mine is the kingdom," is a man whom Satan has got. One day Satan said to Jesus, "Jesus, all the kingdoms of the world I'll give to you." He was offering him the post of Antichrist. One day a man will take that post from Satan and become the ruler of the world. Satan can give you the world. He can give you the power. He can give you the glory and the kingdom. All the kingdoms of the world belong to Satan, and Jesus didn't contradict that. He didn't say they're not yours to give. He said, "Satan, I'm going to go on serving God, not you." So he became the enemy, the adversary of God's kingdom. Here are some of the things he does according to my New Testament. He sows tares among the wheat. Wherever God's seed of the word is sown, Satan comes and he sows something else. He blinds the minds of unbelievers. Why is it that some of your unconverted friends and relatives won't listen to you? You talk to them. They need Christ, and you tell them this, and they're as blind and as dumb and as deaf as a corpse. What's happened? The answer is Satan has blinded them. Their minds are blind. They can't see. He masquerades as an angel of light. He got hold of Judas, and he nearly got hold of Peter. Out of 12 disciples, Satan got hold of Judas through his money. And Jesus said to Peter, "Peter, Satan has wanted to have you, Peter." Of course he did. Peter was to be the first pastor of the church, and Satan wanted him badly. And Jesus said, "I prayed for you that Satan should not have you. He's not got you yet, Peter. Even though you've denied me, he's not got you. I'm going to hang on." And Jesus prayed against Satan. He hindered Paul in going to Thessalonica. He instigated the persecution and the martyrdom of Christians. No wonder the Lord's Prayer includes the phrase, "Deliver us from the evil one." Supposing you say to me, as you well could, "I've never come across any evil spirits. I've never had any personal experience of the things you're talking about. I don't know whether to be glad or sorry for you. I really don't." You're going to find them one way or another, and there is a wrong way to find them and a right way. Let me describe first of all the wrong way according to the Bible. Here are some of the wrong ways. The most obvious way to get through is spiritism. If spirits could give you peace, they would lose you again. They want to keep you dangling on the end of uncertain messages that make you want more, and you're so easily hooked. You can so easily be led on by those beans down the line. Well, now, spiritism, is there anything in it? Yes, there is. I remember going to see a widow whose sister had taken her along to a seance, and she said to me, "Is there anything in it?" And I said, "There certainly is." And she said, "What a relief." She said, "I've asked one or two others and they've just laughed and said it's all fraud and chicanery, but," she said, "there's something in it." Then I said, "Yes, there is." So then she said, "It's all right for me to go then." I said, "No,